This is program presentation 1 of 4, meaning that we have 4 that we're going to be presenting throughout the year. And we're also going to be featuring Northern Arizona program presentations. We're going to have 2 of those throughout the year as well. So we hope that this is not the last time that we see you, that you come in this journey with us and learning about all the services that we do, ways that you can help, ways that you can volunteer. And then that way we can better share that information with other people. And one special thing that we're doing with Catholic Charities this month, it's Catholic Charities Awareness Month. We are turning 88 years of service this year. So we are super excited. It's our party time. It's our celebration time. This is the time that we try to be out in the community when we can to kind of showcase what we're doing. And so this is a special presentation. Next week, we're also going to be having a special presentation with Northern Arizona Services and just celebrate. So welcome aboard. But before we start, if we can just have a moment to pause and just share a quick prayer with you all. So whoever wishes to join us. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Loving God, as persons made in your image, you call on us to recognize and affirm the dignity, sanctity, and value of every human being. And like the Good Samaritan, you invite us to encounter you in the mystery of each person we meet, especially those who are poor or marginalized. We thank you for the blessings you have bestowed on so many of our community's most vulnerable through the love and service of this faith-based agency. We ask you to bless its dedicated team members, volunteers, and supporters, and all who contribute with gratitude to its mission. Bless especially each of those individuals and families who turn to Catholic Charities in their hour of greatest need. Empower Catholic Charities to embrace them where they are and to help them find hope to become who they are meant to be, so that individuals grow, families thrive, and communities flourish. We ask all of this through Christ our Lord. Amen. All right, thank you. So this presentation is brought to you by our volunteer parish and community engagement team. We oversee a lot of our donations, volunteer opportunities. Shannon Hill is with us today, but also another team member is Rhonda Cross, who's also here. Calvin is part of this team as well. And so we are here to support you, to guide you through this journey. So let us know if there's anything we can do to help. So now for the best part of all, these will be our presenters for today, and we will have a call of action, a Q&A right after they present. And so we want to welcome these presenters. We're going to have Joanne Morales from our Refugee Resettlement program speaking towards the end. We will have a Stephanie Hansen from Familias Unidas, Sarah Hamilton from Housing for Hope, and Rebecca Zamet from Resident Services. So we will go ahead and get started. I would first like to introduce you to Stephanie Hansen from our Familias Unidas Immigration Services that we have. Stephanie, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dulce. First of all, thank you for this invitation. I really appreciate it. Today, okay, my name is Stephanie Hansen, and I am the Citizenship Coordinator for the Immigration Department. Today, I'm going to talk about the immigration services we provide. So at the office, we offer low-cost immigration services such as adjustment of status, asylum, U-Visa, VAWA, replacement of resident card, among others. Also, we have on our staff our immigration lawyer with more than 20 years of experience and 3 accredited representatives. Currently, we are providing free assistance for legal permanent residents who wants to start the process on becoming U.S. citizen. Before the pandemic, we host citizenship workshops in different Catholic parishes, community centers, but now we are still providing the services, but virtually. We help people to fill out the applications, the M400 application, which is the US the citizenship application. We guide them through the process. We also try to help them to get resources when they don't have the opportunity or the money to pay the immigration fee. We are always looking for volunteers, people who wants to help. Also, they don't have to, like, it's not a requirement to have experience because we provide the training, and it's just people who wants to serve and help our clients. That's our services. I don't know, does anybody has a question for me?
Thank you, Stephanie. What are some of the items that you help, Stephanie, with preparation of documents? I know there's work around DACA, correct?
Yes, yes. At the office, of course, we help with DACA. Also, we help with all the immigration services, even represent clients in court. Now, we always have low cost for these kind of services. With the naturalization services, we are providing free assistance. We help them with the consultation, also with the preparation of the forms, guide them to submitting the form, and also provide all the information and reference if they need help with the ESL classes or getting the loans for the USCIS fee.
Wonderful. That is really good to know, Stephanie. And I know that this is the correct number that we can refer people to, the 602-749-4415. When you call, you'll get screened by the receptionist there, and we'll find out if there is something or the services that people can come and receive. But they would need an appointment first, right? We don't take any walk-ins. Is that correct, Stephanie?
Yes, they need, if the services, as I mentioned before, DACA or adjustment of status or just a question, yes, they need to call that number. If they want, if people want information about naturalization services, they can also call that number, or 602-616-0977. That's my phone number, and we can help people through the phone. So we are very flexible with time, and also with scheduling a consultation or preparing a documentation, since we are seeing people or hosting events virtually.
Wonderful. We do have bilingual brochures that say Familias Unidas, and it has a list of these services. If anyone is interested in receiving a pack of those brochures, let us know so that we can mail that to you and you can share with the people that you meet. Stephanie, I know you shared your phone number again. Can you repeat it just one more time? 602-619?
No, 602-616-0977. They can text us, they can call us. Sometimes we are very busy, but we always return the calls. And we are here to help, even though if it's not for naturalization services, they can call us and we contact or refer to the person who can help.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stephanie. Is there anyone who has any questions for Stephanie? Perhaps
I do. Hi, this is Sarah Rippentrop. Stephanie, at DACA, are they allowing new applicants to fill out DACA, first-time receivers yet? Or I have a hard time tracking where DACA exactly is. or do we just do renewals?
Yes, we are doing renewals right now, but if you know someone who needs help with DACA, you can call me, or you can call the 602-749-4415, and we can help you with the consultation. So because every client has different needs, so it's better if they call us and we can just look at a specific the case.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
We'll say there's a question in the chat that is asking what the service fees or what the cost per person for documentation would be.
We do have different fees. If it's naturalization, we don't charge. It's free assistance, free consultation. If it's a different kind of immigration service, we charge $20 for the consultation, and it depends of every case has different fees, of course. And there is something important to mention, and if people is applying for naturalization, there are different kind of methods. If they are receiving food stamps or if they are receiving access, they can apply for free. So they don't have to pay the USCIS fee. So it's important for people who wants to start the process. They can call us and we can help you trying to avoid these fees, because it's $725 that they are saving. So, and for the other services, I can spend all day because there are too many services we provide, but if they can call us, we can of course tell you all the services and fees that we have.
Thank you, Stephanie. Anyone else has any questions? Anything else you see, Shannon, on the chat room? All right, going once, going twice. All right, well, Stephanie, thank you so much for being with us this morning and sharing a little bit about the services that we provide with Familias Unidas. We hope that if there's anyone who is interested in volunteering, to reach out to us, Stephanie, to help with that paperwork. And thank you so much. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now up next, we have Sarah Hamilton. Sarah Hamilton will be sharing with us a little bit about our affiliate, Housing for Hope, and the great work that's being done around affordable housing. So Sarah, welcome.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Hamilton, and I work for Catholic Charities and in our resident services program, but I overlap a lot with Housing for Hope, and I get to share with you today about Housing for Hope. So Housing for Hope is an affiliate of Catholic Charities. It's its own 501c3 nonprofit organization, and its mission is to provide safe, beautiful, and most importantly, affordable housing communities for families to live in. This affordable housing is made possible through many different ways and many different partners, through private developers, through state, county, and city supporters. Housing for Hope was founded in 2011, and it's opened its doors to address the need for affordable housing. With one affordable housing unit for every 100 low-income families, low rent housing is crucial for preventing homelessness. And what does it mean to have for rent to be burdensome, or for them for people to fall into the category of low-income housing? So paying more than 1/3 of one's income is considered the tipping point to become burdensome, for rent or a mortgage to be burdensome on a family financially or an individual financially. It can leave people strapped to pay for food, to pay for transportation, for healthcare, and other basic living costs. And all the while we have an affordable housing crisis in Arizona. And luxury apartments make up 87% of all the new rental complexes built in the Valley within the past few years. So affordable housing is, there's just not enough of it. So to meet the demand for affordable housing, Housing for Hope steps up to the plate and offers family-oriented communities as well as homes for seniors and individuals in Central Arizona. And I think Steve Kapobris is on the call today. He is the Executive Director of Housing for Hope, and I've heard him say several times that their goal when they started Housing for Hope was to provide 1,000 units of affordable housing to those in need. And I would love to share with you about the current complexes that we have and where Housing for Hope is on our journey towards 1,000 units. So I'm going to kind of give you a map of the Valley, and I'm going to start way out west and go east. So I'm going to start in Goodyear. And Goodyear is the only place where we have single family homes, and there are 8 of them. Single family homes in Goodyear that provide housing at an affordable rate. In Glendale, we have Ironwood Village, and it is a 95-unit complex comprised of 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. And that's on 45th Ave in Glendale. We have, getting into Phoenix, Northern Phoenix, and then going down and over, we have St. Michael's Crossing and Sunny Slope, which is our newest build. It's a 10-unit complex of 1 bedrooms for veterans, specifically for veterans. Then we have Laurel Tree at 19th and Northern, and that is 70 units, and it's 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units with 18 set aside for severely mentally ill in partnership with Mercy Care. And then at 16th Ave in Camelback, we have Rosewood Court 1 and then Rosewood Court 2. There are 2 different phases of Rosewood Court, and altogether they have 85 units for 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. And then 35 out of those 85 units are set aside for senior citizens. And then going east at 52nd and Thomas, we have Verde Villas, and it is 35 units of 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. And all the way out here in the East Valley where I am in Tempe, we have Desert Willow, and that is 59 units of 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. So all of those numbers together, if you're a math person, it's about right at 300. But I would love to tell you about what is up and coming and how we're continuing to plug away at that 1,000 units. So we have like I said, we have several partners. One of our partners is Foundation for Senior Living, and they have built Acacia Heights Phase 1, and that is at 7th Street or 7th Ave and Camelback. And then soon, and that just opened, just completed this past year. And we are starting Acacia Heights Phase 2, which will be through Housing for Hope. And it'll be another 66 units for senior living. And then we have the biggest one yet, Mesquite Terrace, that's going in on 19th Ave and Camelback. Just broke ground in August, and this will be 300 units. So doubling what we already have. It will be massive, which is great. It's just awesome because we need these affordable housing units for families and for individuals that need housing and need a place to live. So this is a huge step towards in the fight to finding housing for people. We also have hoped to have a site in Flagstaff in the coming years. It will be entitled Aspen Loft. And if you notice, as you heard me go through the list of those names of the affordable housing complexes that we have. And if you're into horticulture or plants, you'll notice that they're all named after native trees of Arizona. And these trees of Arizona, so mesquite terrace, desert willow, ironwood, rosewood. Those are all native Arizonan trees. And those are all trees that survive and flourish right here in Arizona soil. And so that is the hope for the people that live in these complexes, is that they wouldn't just survive, but they would thrive like a desert tree in a desert landscape. And our complexes are provide a place for them to be and to be a family and be a part of a community. Now we're going to show you a video of our services, and that will lead into, and then I'll introduce, or I guess maybe we have questions first. Does anybody have a question before we go on to the video of housing? We can put the Housing for Hope website in the chat box, and maybe somebody's already done that, where you can access, you can go online. It'll tell you all the addresses, how to get in contact with these sites. So most of them are property managed through third parties. And so we don't do the property management of them. So you would have to contact them directly, but all of their information is on the website. I think Steve just put in that there's waiting lists for these sites because affordable housing is just so underdeveloped here. There are long waiting lists, but don't be afraid to put your name on them, to send your parishioners, to send your family members, to send your friends, to go ahead and fill out those applications and get your name on the waiting list. Because sometimes people put names on waiting lists and then they find housing and then they just never call and take their name off the waiting list. And so those waiting lists can go relatively quickly, and it can, depending on obviously the situation. But don't be afraid if you call and you say, oh, you hear there's 100 people on the waiting list. Just go ahead, put your name on there, encourage people to get on that list. Any questions?
I think you shared a good wealth of information from the location to who to contact if anyone's interested, and a really good background and understanding of the mission of Housing for Hope. So thank you, Sarah. I think let's watch the video.
The cost of housing increases every year. Unfortunately, income does not increase at the same rate. Our resident services team strives to support children and families in other areas, like food boxes, after-school assistance, household supplies, and more. These efforts work together to create a strong, safe community. Many families can struggle to keep everyone fed. One way we help families is via mobile food pantries. We collaborate with other community partners like St. Mary's Food Bank for twice-a-month mobile food pantry where residents and local community members can pick up food boxes filled with quality ingredients and fresh foods. Some of our communities have an on-site pantry where residents can stop in and pick up food to stretch their budget until payday. Laurel Tree, for example, has an on-site pantry that is stocked by LifeBridge Pure Heart Church. We have also partnered with local school districts during COVID to provide food delivery to children. These free meals are available to all children under 18 years old. We can't forget about our community garden. While the gardens don't provide a lot of food, they help give families an experience of understanding where their food comes from and what it's like to sow seeds and reap a harvest. Nutrition is just one part of creating a safe, stable environment. 4 out of 5 of our affordable housing communities also had after-school programs prior to the pandemic. We offer a safe place to stay after school, homework help, snacks, arts and crafts, and have adults who model healthy and safe relationships. 2 of our communities partner with Free Arts for Abused Kids and offer trauma-informed care. Mentors join us for in-person class, though they are now presented virtually. Even during COVID, Free Arts provided children with ways to engage their creativity. We also work to create opportunities for kids and families to engage with one another. We've done this through fitness classes, barbecues, holiday events, winter coat distribution, and more. Since we can't gather together for Read Across America, we are creating packets for families to pick up that include snacks and books for every child. families know that we are here to help them find resources and support their success. Some of those activities may look different during the pandemic, but we continually adapt to help strengthen families and promote stability.
So as an affiliate of Catholic Charities, our housing communities offer support services to families so they can be successful in maintaining housing and self-stability. These support services are what we call resident services. And Rebecca, our resident services staff member, and what you just saw a video of play out before you, she's going to go more in depth about resident services and how we make living at our communities not just a roof over our families' heads, but a place that people want to live. Rebecca?
Hi guys, I'm Rebecca Zymet. I work in the resident services program. So as Sarah said, we have 6 different properties that we're actually on site providing services at. I have been at the site called Verde Villas for the past year, but I just recently took over at Rosewood Court on the senior side. Ben, he's at our Rosewood Court at the family side. We have Eunice at our Laurel Tree location. Megan is at St. Michael's and Desert Willow right now. And then Sarah's overseeing all of us, but also providing resources at our sites that we don't have anybody yet, unfortunately. So we have a full-time position open at Ironwood right now. And Verde Villas just opened up with a part-time position. So those job links will be in the chat box if you want to get involved in our program. But resident services, our main point is to just be there and support for our residents in these affordable housing complexes. We're a cross between community development and social services. So some things we do to create community is providing events. Before COVID, our events looked like big fall festivals around Halloween and ice cream socials and morning blends where we were able to have coffee and residents were able to like talk to the neighbors and get to know each other. We were also doing paint nights and game nights and bingo, anything and everything to get the community out, get people to get to know each other, provide a safe space for these residents. After COVID, things are a little bit different, of course. But we've been still on site, still trying to provide services. So we've been doing some grab and go events. So like people were able to come and get little bags of candy at Halloween or like a little Valentine at Valentine's Day and go on their way, at least get something like a small little treat from us. We've also been doing some like 10 people or less events. So we've been doing like, my favorite that I did was shopping events. So I had a bunch of items that kids were able to come down for Mother's Day or Father's Day and pick out like a present for their mom for Mother's Day and like make a little card and give it to them. I did a secondhand shop. So I had a lot of clothes and books and other items donated by my residents actually. I was able to put them out. So all the other residents were able to choose and like reallocate some of those resources that we had. We also have been doing some smaller bingo events or some smaller paint night events, things like that. Another big thing that resident services does is kids corners. Unfortunately, we've not been doing that since the pandemic, but we're hopeful that those services will be starting up pretty soon. And those are before and after school kids programming. We're playing games, we're doing crafts, we're providing snacks. Some of us even provide homework help to these kids before and after school. We also provide services for our residents. Like the video said, we have our biggest thing is our food pantries. We have a partnership with St. Mary's. They come out to our 2 biggest sites, Ironwood and Rosewood, twice a month. So that's going to be the 2nd and 4th Thursday and Friday mornings of every month. And with those, we're not only able to help our residents, we're able to help our communities surrounding these sites because of the abundance of food we're able to distribute at those events. We have been also doing some like themed food boxes. So a lot of these have been around holidays, like an Easter box and 4th of July food boxes, but we're able to like customize exactly what we think our resident will want in those boxes and make up those boxes and hand it out to our residents. We also have a partnership with Waste Not. So they've been able to provide us some frozen prepared meals to our residents once a week. We're on the senior side of Rosewood. We are able to help provide some groceries. Oh, my lights went out. Sorry about that, guys. Their lights are on the timer here. If you don't move long enough, they go out. but we provide senior shopping for Rosewood, or our seniors at Rosewood, so to help them get some groceries in. We also have some on-site food pantries. So if a resident ever needs food, they're able to get in there and get some food out of that food pantry. We also do some things called resident appointments. So this is when a resident comes to us with a specific need. So for example, I had a resident that needed a bed. They didn't have a bed, they were sleeping on the floor. And I was able to find a private donor and get a bed donated to them. Or sometimes like we'll reallocate resources between the sites. We work really well together. Like we've had a lot of strollers donated. So we've been able to provide, like find residents with younger kids that still need those strollers and reallocate those resources. Sometimes those resources look like legal resources, counseling resources, anything and everything. If we don't know about it, we will do our research and we'll try to find it. Unfortunately had a resident pass away recently, and we were able to find grief resources and funeral planning resources and just be there and help support this family at that time. The biggest part of what we do is we're building relationships with these residents. We have to be there for them. Some of these residents don't have anybody else in their life. So we're that person that's on site and we're there for them when they need us. And we're really working on not only building the relationship, but building the trust between us. If they don't trust us enough, they don't know us enough, they're not going to come to us with their needs, and then we can't help them because we don't know what they need. So that's our biggest thing, is we're just there. We're trying to build these relationships, trying to be somebody that they trust, sharing their story with, so that we're able to actually help them and anticipate their needs. So if you want to get involved with us, we have several volunteer opportunities. Our two biggest volunteer opportunities we're going to have are going to be our food pantries. Those, like I said, those are the second and fourth Thursdays and Fridays of every month. And we're always needing help at our big food pantries when St. Mary's comes in. Because we're not, like I said, we're not just serving our residents, we're serving the community. So we have a lot of people coming through and we're always needing help with that. We're always happy to have you. When Kids Corner starts back up, those are going to be really helpful to have some Kids Corner volunteers, not only helping with the kids, but also helping preparing the craft items and things like that, getting prepared for when the kids come, anything like that. We also have been having partnerships come in. So if you have a program or if you're an expert in something and you want to teach our residents about it, we'd love to have you. For example, we had the Creighton University students come in recently, and they did an event in the garden at Rosewood where they were able to teach the kids not only about nutrition, but help them plant some seeds in their community garden. So anything like that we're not necessarily experts on, but we love to teach our residents about like healthy eating or financial literacy. We'd love somebody else to come in and teach them that has more information than we do. If you want to donate to our program, I think Sarah's going to put the Amazon wish list in the chat, but we do have an Amazon wish list that's going to have our most updated list of everything we're going to need for our program. But some other items that we're always in need for is welcome basket items. So when a resident moves into one of our units, we provide them a welcome basket, and that's going to include anything and everything that like they might need when they're moving into a new apartment. So like cleaning supplies, household items, things like that. We also always would love hygiene items for our residents. I like to keep hygiene items in my food pantry at Birdie Villas. So residents are not only able to get food out of there, but hygiene items out of there anytime that they're in need. Some crafts and game items are always helpful, especially when we have Kids Corner programming. Our snacks for events are always helpful. Some bigger items that are really always helpful, especially around holidays, is like toys at Christmas time for these children, or turkeys, or other Thanksgiving meal items around Thanksgiving, or at back to school season, back to school supplies, back to school backpacks, things like that. Anything and all those stuff are help to supplement these families that are already in affordable housing for a reason. So if you ever want to donate or volunteer, you can reach out to Sarah. She's going to put her email in the chat box. We'd love to have you. Also, if you want to join our program, now that you've heard about it, like I said, we have a full-time position open in Glendale at Ironwood and a part-time position open in Phoenix at Birdie Villas. So we're welcome to have you. I think Sarah's putting those job links in the chat as well.
Rebecca, thank you so much. You shared a lot of information that I think really gives us a good picture of the beautiful work that you and the rest of the team are doing inside of these housing communities. And what a beautiful mission for both together, and that collaboration that Housing for Hope and Catholic Charities has done to care for the residents. I mean, I've heard success stories of how you mentioned a resident, this can be their only family and can live there forever, perhaps. But I've also listened of success stories. I remember there was a single mom with her child who stayed there, raised and saved enough money to be able to buy her own home and moved out. So it can definitely be a beautiful symbol of these trees that you were talking about, Sarah, how it's to flourish and help the people that are in need. That. So Sarah, Rebecca, thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for Sarah or Rebecca on Housing for Hope or resident services before we move on? Any chats, Shannon? Nope. All right. Well, Sarah, again, and Rebecca, thank you so much for your time today. And we hope that, the community knows a little bit more of the work that we're doing around those areas. So thank you so much. All right, up next, we have Joanne Morales, who's going to be speaking to us about our Refugee Resettlement Program and the great work that we're doing there. Welcome, Joanne.
Hi, thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody. As Dulce said, my name is Joanne Morales, and I oversee the refugee programs here at Catholic Charities. And within our refugee programs, we have quite a few different populations and groups that we serve. So we do work with families in our adult refugee resettlement programs. And we've actually been welcoming and resettling refugees since 1979. So we're one of the older programs, I'd say, within the agency. We have a long history, and we are a part of our national office, which is the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. And I feel personally that welcoming refugees not only is a part of our Catholic social teaching and welcoming the stranger, but it also fits in so clearly with our mission of providing permanent solutions for vulnerable people. So in terms of refugee resettlement, right now, we are welcoming refugees primarily from, we have a couple families coming in from Syria, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Myanmar, and then Afghanistan, of course. Refugees are individuals who come into the US under refugee status. So a lot of people don't realize that refugee status is an actual legal status under Section 207 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. And refugees are individuals who are forced out of their country of origin due to a well-founded fear of persecution based on one of 5 categories, which is race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion. And resettlement in a third country, such as the United States, is really the last form of humanitarian aid for individuals. I would say less than a quarter of the world's refugees are resettled into a third country, such as the United States. And the President of the United States determines every October how many refugees to admit every year. So it's a really exciting, fast-paced program. For those of you that might have questions about the Afghan situation, our program is participating in the Afghan Parolee Assistance Program, and we're anticipating on welcoming 75 Afghan families and individuals who were evacuated and are now on military bases, going through ongoing vetting and processing and documentation process. So we're looking to anticipate to receive Afghanis probably in about 2 weeks. We've had an enormous community response to support them, and we're incredibly grateful of that. In addition to our adult and our families and our Afghan program, we also have the unaccompanied minor program. So we do welcome and resettle unaccompanied refugee minors. And those are refugee children who are being resettled into specialized foster care, where their parents, they've been separated from their parents in the refugee process. So when they're leaving their country of origin due to crisis, conflict, somehow they're separated, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, which is UNHCR for short, has determined that it is in their best interest and their last viable option for protection to be resettled into a third country. And while their immediate family is unable to be located, they'll be placed in foster care. Additionally, we also have our unaccompanied children program. And this involves children that are primarily arriving from Central America. And these are the kiddos that have been detained at the US-Mexico border and were initially placed into youth shelters. And for our youth, it has been determined that they haven't been able to reunify with a family member. So either they haven't been able to identify or locate a family member, or a family member has not come forward. And then it's determined it is also in their best interest to be placed into longer term foster care in a family home. Within our unaccompanied minor and unaccompanied refugee minor program, we do work with foster homes primarily, and our families are licensed through the state of Arizona, just like any other foster family. And our youth are not up for adoption, primarily because they've been separated from their family. This isn't a situation where they've been necessarily removed from the home or their parental ties have been severed. So a lot of people ask me if the youth are eligible for adoption, and the answer is no, because there's always a possibility of reunification, though rare. The other piece I would add is that in our foster care program, most of our youth are teens. We are going to be anticipating resettling some Afghan youth into our unaccompanied refugee minor program as well. And most of the youth in our program are between the ages of 15 and 18. Our agency website, which is posted in the chat, has specific information on the refugee resettlement program. We have an Amazon wish list, which has been really helpful during this pandemic. So if people would like to make a donation contactless, they can place an order from pre-designated items on the wish list, and they get delivered automatically to our building. We also have up-to-date information on the Afghan crisis and how you can help Afghan refugees. So there's specific things there that people might be needing. And we'll be also kind of partnering with our local partners as well as with our agency partners. So for example, we partner very closely with our immigration program that was presented in assisting refugees to adjust their status to legal permanent resident and then later citizens. And then we also work for Housing for Hope as refugees become employed and on their path to self-sufficiency. Once they have an income, either through employment or SSI if eligible, then we would put them on a wait list for affordable housing as well. So we do have some families that are successfully housed in the Housing for Hope properties as well. And that's pretty much what I have, but I'd love to be able to answer any questions that anybody may have for me.
Anyone have any questions for Joanne? Is there anything in the chat room, Shannon? Well, as we think, let's watch a video. This is a quick story of a refugee family who came to the US and how we supported them along the way. So let's check it out while someone wants to ask a question. that's just one of many stories of the families that we receive, and we you know, walk alongside with them during this journey. I know our Refuge Cafe on 7th Avenue in Camelback has a lot of artwork that is displayed by several of our refugees who come in with that talent and that gift. So you are more than welcome to come for a cup of coffee and admire some of that artwork. Well, there's a little commercial on the Refuge Cafe, but any questions for Joanne?
Dulce, we have a question in the chat. Where or how do refugees find employment?
Joanne.
Sure, I just actually answered in the chat, but I can go into that a little bit. So the way that refugee resettlement programs work is that we are federally funded, and the federal government considers refugee resettlement as a public-private partnership. While refugees do not have to demonstrate an ability to assimilate to be resettled into the US for urgent humanitarian needs, the goal of overall resettlement is economic self-sufficiency as soon as possible after arrival. So we do have a big focus on employment, and we have, I think right now we have about 2 to 3 different employment programs where the goal is to get employable refugees employed within 3 to 6 months after arrival into the United States. So the refugee resettlement does provide a lot of initial support with the goal of eventually assisting refugees to become independent. And when I kind of go back to that public-private partnership, that also means that we are required to match federal funding and develop our own support within the community. So we work quite extensively with a variety of volunteers, parishes, mosques, other faith groups. We work really hard to procure donations, financial support. So if refugees have a little bit longer road ahead of them before employment, we're able to support them. So a lot of what you see is related to that and helping families get together and support them on their way to success. Refugees are initially assisted with housing through the federal government. Our program receives a small financial stipend per refugee arrival that must go directly to support the refugee that has arrived, and a piece of that is housing. So we are charged to place refugees in safe, affordable housing upon arrival. I will be honest, the housing market has changed in the last 2 to 3 years, so it is a bit of a challenge right now, but we do have a couple apartment complexes that we partner with, but we're always looking for new partners. And as I mentioned, affordable housing is a big key of that. So once people are employed, we really do work with our staff to make sure those affordable housing applications are put in as quickly as possible. The other piece I would say is that you'll notice on those 5 characteristics or qualifications to qualify as a refugee, economic status is not one of them. So while refugees come from all different backgrounds, and the average length of time in a refugee camp is about 10 years. So this isn't a speedy process for the most part. Refugees can also be arriving with specialized skills and education. So there could be individuals with formal degrees and training from their countries of origin, where they may have to go through a degree evaluation or retraining before they can work in that career. So a lot of them may take entry-level positions to start and kind of work their way up. We're always looking for employers who are willing to hire refugees, and they can reach out to Grace Carrillo, who is our employment supervisor. And I am going to hop on my email and pull up her email address, her information, so that you all have it. Hold on one moment. And I'll put that in the chat. So for those of you that are interested in connecting with our employment team, I'll put that here for you. And that's pretty much how it works. I do want to give some recognition. There's some guests on the chat who I know who have experience with refugees and may indeed be former refugees themselves. And I would encourage anyone on the group that's got that direct lived experience to feel free to jump in. But we're really grateful for any employers and housing partners that we can partner with. So thank you.
Joanne, thank you so much for this wealth of information on our program, the Refugee Resettlement Refugee Resettlement Program, and the work that you and the team are doing to welcome these refugee families, and how we can help as well. I know we do have a charity list on Amazon, how she mentioned, if anyone would like to go in and support us. We also have that website she mentioned on our page, so you can see what's going on right now, what's the updates. If you have a gift or a talent that you wish to share as well, you're more than welcome to fill that out so that we can receive it and then reach out to you when we can. Does anyone have any other questions? Anyone want to share anything? All right. Well, Joanne, thank you so much for your time and for sharing this information. Shannon, did you want to say?
Go ahead, Karen.
Okay, Dulce, I just wanted to say thank you all for everyone being on the call. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to learn more about our programs, please go on to our website. We also have another program next Friday, September 24th, that will talk about our Northern Arizona programs as well. So we would love to have your support. If you're interested, you can reach any of us on the website or to call our number. So thank you all very much. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you, Karen. One of the things that we want to mention is that refer anyone in need to our agency. We will direct them and support them. We do have material that we are more than welcome to share with the community, especially refugee resettlement brochures, Housing for Hope flyers with volunteer opportunities. So do not hesitate to reach out and let us know of any ways that we can share with you. Also, a friendly reminder of our tax credit opportunities. We just talked about Housing for Hope, and a really good way to help us to continue to build affordable housing in the community, because we know this need to take advantage of that Housing for Hope tax credit. Because we also care for children in foster care, we also have our Arizona foster care tax credit. So please take advantage of these opportunities so that we can support the community. Also, a quick shout out. Do you have a windshield broken? Is it cracked and you have not taken care of that windshield? This is a great opportunity. We've partnered with Anytime Auto Glass and Tint, and they are going to be donating $100 for every windshield that they replace, but you got to choose what program. And I know Shannon will be putting in the chat the phone number for you to call Anytime Auto Glass and Tint to get that repaired. And then you let them know, hey, you know what? I want to support Manna House, or which is our veterans transitional shelter, or perhaps Emergency Santa program, which is the support that we have for our families and children in the community and in our programs who we help during the holidays. Or perhaps you have a passion for early childhood education for Westside Head Start. So you can let them know once you get that repaired who you would like your 100 donation of support to go to, and they will do it. And I think Shannon is on here. Is she on here from Anytime Auto Glass and Tint?
I don't believe so.
Oh, I thought she was on here. But we just want to give them a shout out and thank them for this support. Really quickly, we do have a Champions volunteer opportunity out here. If you're part of a community of a Catholic church and you wish to invite us to place a table after Mass, but you want to champion that, you want to be the one that is supporting and sharing this information, let us know. We have a great opportunity there. there. And just like Karen mentioned, next week on September 24th, we will be highlighting 4 of our special programs out in Northern Arizona. The more we know about what is going on here in our state and how we're helping, this is a great opportunity for you to learn about these 4 specific programs and staff presenting on them. Again, we just want to thank you on our behalf of our agency. Thank you so much for all of your support, for your presence, for your time, for sharing your talents and gifts with us, especially as we celebrate 88 years of service at Catholic Charities this month. Thank you for helping us and helping our communities most vulnerable. We thank you again for being here. Follow us on social media, and we hope this was a valuable presentation for you. Thank you so much, and everyone have a beautiful and blessed day.